My BF, 25M, doesn't like me, 22F, drinking. This is my first Reddit post, so bear with me. My boyfriend and I met 8 months ago and hit it off ever since. We started dating around the 5-month mark of knowing each other. He is everything I want in a partner. He's respectful, a hard worker, affectionate, outgoing, and he plans little dates often. We generally have zero issues in our relationship and communicate effectively when things arise. For background information, my last relationship was when I was 20 and was a rough time for me. He had anger issues and was super controlling and manipulative in many ways. He tried to make me feel bad for doing anything without him and would get upset if I ever hung out with friends. After breaking up with him, I spent a lot of time finding myself, and toward the end of last year, started going out with my girl cousins for the first time. The problem of me drinking in my current relationship stems back to when we weren't exclusive yet, just seeing each other. When he met me, I would go out 2 to 3 times a month, usually being the careful one of the group. I would go out for drinks with my friends/cousins, and he had offered to pick me up after to sleep over twice. Both those times I had ended up throwing up. I don't like getting like that, but unfortunately things happen, and I understood I needed to be more cautious. He told me he didn't like when I got like that, stating for safety reasons, which I agreed with, but also because he was worried I'd be flirty with other guys. I assured him he doesn't need to worry about that, as I've never done that before and was always in the right mind to know right from wrong. For months into us getting to know each other, I had a girls' trip planned out. It was me and my best friend, who are both 22, her 2 sisters, and her sister's 2 friends who all over 28. 2 of the girls are also nurses. Before leaving, he expressed his concerns about me drinking too much, and I told him not to worry, that I'd be okay. Out of our 7-day trip, I ended up getting drunk one of the days, and he was understandably pretty upset with me because I had stopped texting him during the night. I wasn't the only one drunk, and the girls made sure we were all fine. We actually ended up going back to our resort room by midnight, and all of us ended up knocking out. Ever since that trip, he hasn't let it go about my drinking and how he doesn't know what I did that night, even when I laugh about our resort being filled with retired couples. Another 4 months after that trip to now, we've been dating for 3 months, and I haven't drank because I know how he feels. This past weekend, my best friend invited me to a family gathering where I knew there would be drinks, but knew I wouldn't get drunk. My best friend wanted me to sleep over, but he again insists that he drops me off and picks me up. We eventually agreed at midnight when he initially wanted to get me at 11. Everything was fine. We were texting and I'd update him. Until right before I was supposed to leave, there was an issue of someone getting emotional, and I stepped away from the party to comfort her, leaving my phone unattended. At this point, I was a bit buzzed, 1 mixed drink and 2 shots, but 100% coherent. I could walk, talk, run the whole 9. Eventually 12 comes, and I didn't answer his call, so he came into my friend's house, uninvited, to look for me. This almost became a problem with the owner of the house, but my friend's family calmed it down and went to get me. I grabbed my stuff and went to the car with him, eventually crying during the ride because I could feel his energy. He says I was drunk because I looked faded and had the wrong slides on, but I explained someone gave them to me and I was in too much of a rush to notice. Same exact slides, just 1 size bigger. After all this, he again brought up my drinking as if I'm an alcoholic, and it's seeming like our relationship just can't get over this one hump. Eventually, I told him I just stopped drinking, even though I feel like I'm being forced into this. But I just don't know what to do. I understand where I was wrong in the first 2 instances, even though we weren't in a relationship yet. But I feel like I redeemed some trust with not drinking for months and coming back fine after the last time. I don't know if I'm entering another controlling relationship or if I'm the illogical one. I feel like I just don't adhere to his preference, and I'm not actually doing anything disrespectful. I also feel like the whole dropping off and picking me up is a tactic to control me. I'm not a big drinker and don't mind giving it up. I'm just worried about the principle of it all. TLDR. My BF, 25M, and I, 22F, have known each other for 8 months and dating for 3, and he's great in many ways, but we're facing issues over my drinking. Although I've reassured him that I drink more responsibly, he's repeatedly expressed concern, especially after a trip where I got drunk. Recently, He came to pick me up from a gathering, visibly upset, because I was dealing with an emotional friend and didn't see his call. I'm now considering quitting drinking to avoid conflict, but I'm worried this might be controlling behavior or if I'm overreacting.